slap me silly and call me Susan, because these GTA 6 leaks have essentially been confirmed by Rockstar Games, and you need to stick around because this shit is getting me excited. And no, I haven't been taking any of those dodgy blue pills, although reading through some of this shit it might look like I have, if you zoom in enough, that is, anyway. So buckle up, stick around and give me a minute to explain, because you might end up with a larger third leg as well. If you've not been aware, Rockstar Games has been in dispute with the IWGB after dismissing 34 employees for what Rockstar says leaking information, and more definitively, leaking information about GTA 6 to influencers. Now, I'm not going to get too into the details with this, because although there's more to talk about on this matter, this isn't the stuff that's given me growing pains. However, Rockstar believes it is to be significant and related to game features around GTA 6. This includes specific game features, comments on the progress of GTA 6 development, and timelines to launch. But I'm going to get into the leaks that I would call pretty fucking solid. And it stems from GameRoll. Shout out to GameRoll. And it starts with this tweet. Before the release of Trailer 2 and before we got the names of the characters in GTA 6, he named the two main protagonists, Jason and Lucia's, last names. So yeah, whoever gave him this info is in the know. Or shall I say, was in the know, because this isn't the only evidence we have to suggest that this is legit. The other evidence is Rockstar themselves. Again, like I said at the start of the video, they mentioned the leaking of information to influencers, but not only that, they confirmed that they dismissed an employee in Lincoln in the UK in April 2025, who it alleged disclosed confidential information about GTA 6 to a third party who published the information to social media. That is a matter of weeks after GameRoll released the last names of both protagonists. And so that takes us on to the exciting bit, boys and girls, because GameRoll didn't just give away the last names of Jason and Lucia. He also, apparently from the same source, revealed that 6-star wanted levels are going to be returning, which is one that doesn't really bother me too much, whether it's 5 or 6 stars, but it's going to be interesting to see the difference each star makes in GTA 6, because of course we're going to be having a different police system coming in GTA 6 with character and vehicle descriptions. Hopefully we won't be hitting 6 stars too often, but it's definitely something I'm going to be interested in trying to survive and see how it goes. The relationship bar, which was also mentioned in the 2022 leaks, still exists and works just like Honor in RDR2. I don't particularly have much to say in this one. Again, it doesn't really bother me, but I guess it can add some interesting differences in the stories that we're all going to play, depending on how good or bad of a relationship we have. I imagine we'll get some slight variations in the things maybe said to each other and maybe the odd difference in game. Weight mechanics are apparently a thing again, and hopefully this doesn't affect us too much in game, because I don't have the time to hit the gym in real life, hence why I'm fat as fuck. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. He also goes on to mention that explorable underwater areas with treasure and secrets, something that we've obviously sort of seen before in GTA 5, but I'm guessing with Leonida being a much bigger map, I think they say it's going to be around twice the size of Los Santos, and with it being a bigger map, hopefully we're going to be having a lot more to explore. They also mentioned that the Trailer 2 scene where Jason buys beer, and obviously it went a little bit viral for, because, you know, you can see the beer bubbles. Everyone was getting excited over that. Apparently that is gameplay, and, well, that is fucking sick, because if that is true, you guys just wait for the jiggle physics, because I know that's exactly what's in your mind. I know exactly what you're thinking, you dirty bastards. And also, greet and antagonise is in the game as well, which of course is a feature from Red Dead Redemption 2. And also something that we've seen in the 2022 leaks as well, I believe. And then he goes on to mention about the character wheel. Apparently, the character wheel is going to have 3 options: solo Jason, solo Lucia, and dual protagonist control, where Lucia and Jason can be controlled at the same time to rob together in the open world. Some missions are also started using the 2 of them together at once. If I remember correctly, I did see this in the leaks as well, in the Hank's Waffle Diner. You can see Jason and Lucia being swapped to almost, well, I say almost, it is instantly, going from one to the other as they're robbing Hank's Waffles. And then that takes us on to rectangle GPS with pink waypoints. I guess this one is just going with the theme of GTA 6, but whether it's pink or purple or yellow or blue, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. I'm sure that GTA 6 will be like GTA 5 and be out for 20 years before the next game, so I'm sure it'll get to the point where we all know the map like our arseholes when wiping after a shit anyway, and we won't be needing to use it. Jason also has a Deadeye-like ability which slows down time and reveals weak spots. Lucia can do it as well, but apparently it is only for one shot. The source said this is apparently super bad and they hope it gets changed. It's meant to show how Jason is a better shot than Lucia due to his time in the army. Now again, this one isn't something that I really mind too much, but some people get a little bit bothered about special abilities, and I kind of get it, because I guess if it turns into some Assassin's Creed crazy senses shit that you have to rely on too much, it can take away from the realness of it. But this is from the same fuckers that thought adding flying bikes to the game was a good idea, so who the fuck knows. People react to having your gun out. This is a good one. I like this. I like realism. I want realism. And then he also goes on to say that male strippers are going to be in the game. I'll let you decide if you want to see that shit. But again, I guess it's realistic. And then speaking more about realism, gore and dismemberment is also being built off of RDR2. Again, not much to say here. Some might like it, some maybe not if you're maybe a little bit more sensitive to that kind of stuff. But again, adds to the realism. Limited weapon system returns. Weapons will be stored in trunks. So this is obviously going to be very similar to RDR2, where we had to store our weapons on your pony. I like it. And then he also goes on to mention a guy called Donnie, who's Jason's friend, who works for Brian and is described as a freak. Not much information here again. We've not had any sort of info on this guy. Maybe it could be that they changed his name to Cow. I don't know. I guess not. Who knows? The map is once again going to be an island with no panhandle. So for those of you that are wanting a panhandle, it doesn't look like it's going to be coming. This one, again, isn't really one that bothers me, as long as the map is going to be good and larger than GTA 5. So win-win. And speaking of bigger and better, enterable shopping malls and skyscrapers with lifts, as well as 700 plus shops and most interiors of a major open world game. He's also put in brackets there, this is the one I'm most iffy about. But if you think about it, if you've got a map twice the size of Los Santos, by the time you've added, you know, clothing stores, maybe food stores, you know, there's talk of shopping malls that's going to be in the game, skyscrapers with lifts, you know, it's not going to be too far stretched, I don't think, to have sort of that number of enterable buildings. And then that takes us on to story and missions, where he said he's not going to spoil too much, but he did reveal that the game is going to have chapters just like RDR2, 5 chapters in total. Apparently the shots from trailer 2 were all from chapters 1 to 3. And then, sorry for all of you pervs out there, there's going to be no fully nude sex scene, so it's looking like the vanilla unicorn is going to be the best you're getting. You got to remember, guys, this is Grand Theft Auto, not Grand Fap Auto. 2 hands on the controller at all times. And then he also goes on to say that listening to music outside of a car apparently isn't a thing. And this one is a shame to see, and I hope this is one that gets changed since this come out. Because, you know, earpods are a thing. You know, let us listen to Tupac whilst robbing up Hank's Waffles. We've seen screenshots with Lucia with earbuds in, you know, like Apple's version of the old earbuds. Again, just add it to the game, man. Let us have it. And then going on to another thing that also apparently isn't a thing is Prone. Apparently Prone, which was seen in the 2022 leaks, has been cut apparently. And again, this is another one that I think is a shame, but still, nonetheless, we've not had it in GTA 5, and I guess look to the plus side, we won't be having people camping in bushes or some shit in GTA 6 online ready to pounce out and try and bum ya. So yeah, that's a bonus in my books. No Disney World parody. Now I'm distraught. Now I'm not buying the game. And lastly, no burglary minigame. This one, I don't really know how to feel about it, really. I think that with 700 plus shops and most interiors of a major open world game being a thing, we really ought to be able to rob up someone's gaff. But who's to say, again, there isn't something that's going to be like this coming in the future? Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then that takes us on to the next set of apparent leaks, and this one isn't as verifiable, shall we say, but before either of the GTA 6 trailers come out, someone, who's since deleted their account, posted this to Reddit, and there's no way that this could just be a guess. definitely take a look at this. Now, they claim to have a source and that this isn't a friend of a friend typical bullshit scenario. And they go on to say, I was surprised by my source when I was told that Lucia has a baby that she abandons at something, before heading out to a bank robbery and then getting arrested for doing such an act. It is not known if the baby was a boy or a girl, and obviously there will be no kids in the game. This only happens in a cutscene as a flashback of the past. I have no information about what happened to this baby after this point. So that part there, we obviously don't really know. There's not much evidence sort of suggesting that this is going to be right or correct, but the next bit where he says, after a few years, Lucia gets released on probation. She's picked up at the prison by Jason, who's planning a robbery with her, and they fall in love with each other after some time. The majority of the planning for the missions takes place at a nightclub called Vault. Now, we haven't seen a nightclub called Vault yet, but what we have seen are, again, nightclubs. And 2, with the release of Trailer 2, we see Jason picking up Lucia from prison, who is on probation. In the very first mission of the game, you control Jason and you have to follow a plane that is about to land and carries a Russian drug dealer. Apparently, Jason meets this guy and starts to plan a mission to steal drugs. In this drug stealing mission, they are chased by the police and the drug ends up falling into the ocean. There is a following mission where they will have to dive to retrieve it. Now, if you was to read this back when it was first posted, before trailer 1 and 2 obviously, because this is when that was posted, you would be right in thinking that this guy is smoking some real wacky-backy crystal meth type shit out of his mum's arse crack to be coming out with this. But reading back on it now, having seen trailer 1, having seen trailer 2, where Lucia gets picked up from prison by Jason, and also with Rockstar mentioning on the GTA 6 page online where they gave more info on the characters, they talk about Lucia and they say that life has been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Lucia's learned her lesson. Only smart moves from here. I mean, are you guys seeing the links here that I'm seeing, or am I just batshit crazy? Because we have trailer 2 that confirms that Jason picks her up from prison on probation with an ankle monitor on, and that family is the reason she ended up in the pen. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm believing this shit. This is looking hard to dismiss, and I'm trying so hard not to become a crazy psycho bastard like I'm on some 12-year-old Justin Bieber type shit. But you know, this is adding up. This is looking like that this shit is legit. And that's not to forget that the guy also goes on to say that they fall in love with each other, which again is shown in these trailers. And then of course he also mentions that the very first mission of the game, you control Jason and you have to follow a plane that is about to land, which carries a Russian drug dealer who he does missions for. Now again, we haven't seen no Russians, but we do know that we're going to be starting off in the Leonida Keys with Jason, who Rockstar have said is running drugs for Brian. Like, there's no way this guy has pulled this stuff from his ring piece and managed to get this shit pretty much bang on. But of course, needless to say, none of this is confirmed until 1, we play the game ourselves, or 2, Rockstar shows us this shit, in which they have showed some of it. But fuck me, this is getting exciting, and I honestly just can't wait for this game to come out. And now I think about it, and let's not forget actually, is although they dismissed an employee in Lincoln in the UK in April 2005 who they said leaked information about GTA 6 to a third party who published the info to social media, it also says they got rid of an employee in the US in November 2023, which is literally weeks after this guy posted on Reddit about Lucia having a baby and stuff like that. So, you know, the math is starting to math a little bit. Call me crazy, call me Susan, call me whatever you like, call me a fucking idiot. This stuff is starting to add up and it's starting to make sense. At least it's making sense to me anyway. I've got to say, I'm believing this shit and it's getting me excited. And I'm interested to know, is it getting you excited? Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this stuff. And thank you all for watching this video. And make sure you hit that sub button. Fucking hit it.